Typically, to coexist, you need more than one person, at least two or more, but not for the game Coexist. For the game Coexist, all you need is one person. And in this case, it's going to be me to play the game. There is a list of challenges. We are going to go with the first challenge for the leaf board. Why? Because the leaf board's green and I enjoy green. So let's go to the table as I take Coexist on solo and learn how to coexist with myself. All right, it's time to play Coexist solo. So if you have not seen the how to play, a link will be up there as per as the usual. I will go over this really quick. So first off, for the setup, what we are going to end up doing is the rules are on Board Game Geek. There's a link to it down below. But we are going to choose a set of missions. I'm going to do the Forest Fauna one. It's going to tell you which decks to shuffle. This is the Forest and Exotic Fauna decks. You're going to shuffle those two decks together, make a display, deal out to 5 cards as you normally would in a game. Start with the first mission. If you beat the first mission, you'll move on to the second, the third, blah, 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 blah. So what happens in the first mission for the Forest Fauna is each caretaker who isn't assigned at the end of the game is going to get us -2 victory points, and we need to have a goal of 27 points at the end of the game. So really quick into how the game is going to work. On my turn, I'm going to choose one of 3 sets of actions. The first one is mission. Mission is you are either going to house an animal by taking it and placing it on your board, or in the instance of these are caretakers. You're going to take 1 to as many as they're out there. You're going to take them down, get those caretakers from the supply, place them on your board. Each section can only hold 1 color. So this oranges and greens, I can't mix them into the one space into the second space. It'd have to be orange and green. The animals cannot go on spaces with those caretakers. That's the first one. Second one is the conservation board action. You can do as many of these as you want and as many times as you want. So the one thing that you can do is you can release the animal to the shared common area, which is basically you're going to discard them and get the resources that are depicted at the bottom of the creature. Second one is you can move and assign your caretakers around your board into where they need to be with the different animals. The third thing you can do is if you've satisfied the animal's needs, the darker dots up here, you can release them from captivity to the bottom. That is how you're going to score points for them at the end of the game, and then they're going to possibly have a special power that will go into effect at that point. If there's a lightning bolt, it happens right away. The third thing you can do is you can train. You can basically swap your caretakers for other various ones based on these training costs right there. That is the basics of it. The game is going to end one of 2 ways. I've released my 5th animal down here, or that deck runs out and we reveal the last card. At that point, if I release my 5th animal, the game ends immediately. If the deck runs out, I will take 1 final turn. That's the long and short of it. So let's go ahead and get started. This is pretty easy for me. I know the deck layouts, and basically what happens is there's 10 caretaker cards in the deck and 10 animal cards. Of those 10 cards, there's 4 orange, 3 blue, 2 purple, and 1 green. So these are all the green that are in here. So we're going to take the caretaker cards like so, which gives us 2 green and 2 orange. So now we are going to get into the one change that happens in a solo game, is that normally you would just fill this as is. But in a solo game, before you fill it up, you are going to discard the rightmost card if there is one. There is one. And then you would have slid all remaining cards down to the right and then refilled behind it. There are no others, so we'll just simply grab these. And it looks like I'm getting a lot of caretakers at the beginning. So I kind of think I might grab the caretakers and then line myself up for that bear, although that bear special power wouldn't really matter right now because I don't have anything bad. That little guy is not too bad. If I took these, I'd have the 2 orange. I'd have everything. So yeah, let's go ahead and take the caretakers again, because the bear is about to get discarded anyways. So we take the 2 caretakers. So we get 2 blue and a purple. These get discarded. We discard the rightmost, which is this bear. I'm pretty sure I'm housing that little guy next turn. 2, 3, 4, and 5. In fact, so now when you house an animal, I didn't go over this, you're going to look at the number in the upper right corner, and you can house up to 10 on a turn. So in theory, if I had the room, I'd be able to take both of these, but I only have spots for 1. We're going to make that little guy right there. End of the turn, so we discard the rightmost. These slide down, and we refill behind it. So now I'll take a conservation board action. So with this action, like I said, we can move these around. We could discard him for the stuff on here. I don't want to do that. I have the stuff for him. So we're going to move over to orange. We are going to move over a blue, a purple, and both greens. We can now release them from captivity. So they are going to come down here. We are going to go ahead and bam, and bam, and bam, and bam. And then looking at the effects list, what his power is that when I do the training, so normally it would take 2 purple to get a green, I can instead just do 1 purple for 1 green or 1 green for 1 purple, vice versa. I have nothing else to be able to do because I have none that I can release to there. I have no more to move on to there. So that is the end of my turn. They discard the rightmost card. These slide down, and we flip the next one over. So I think I'm going to want to get a couple of animals on my board and then start figuring out if I want to discard any of them to get the stuff at the bottom to put out a different one. So I kind of like this one to discard to help me put out this one. The orange isn't going to be any use, but it's going to give me one of the blue I need. I have my other blue here. It's going to give me one of the purple I need. It's not going to give me a green yet, but it will give me 2 survival, which is going to knock down my reputation. But when I play them, I'd be able to get rid of them. So let's go ahead and house these 2 animals. So you're going to see it is a 5 and a 2, which totals up to 7. So I'm all good. Game's going to discard that rightmost. These slide over, and we refill. So now I can do a couple of options. So I know I need a green for there. I can do a green with a 1-to-1 ratio of purple. I have the 1 purple out there that I'd be able to use for training. Looking up here, or I could take a couple more animals. I could basically take that one and that one, or that one or that one. I think I'm just going to take the purple this time. Put that right there. They discard that one. Everything slides down and flip these over. So now I think I'm going to take the conservation board action again. So we are going to start by releasing this to the common shared thing, basically discarding them for their supplies at the bottom. I get an orange, I get 2 blue, a purple, and 2 survival. These survival go down here. So what this basically does, I believe I explained this earlier, is now mine can only total up to 9, and this is costing me 4 points as long as that's there. But does give me all of these fun tokens, and this goes away. So we are going to go ahead and put our 2 blue there. I think we're going to put 1 of our purple there. We're going to stick our orange up there. So I am limited still by this space, but I think we're fine. I need to basically get another purple and train and then move to there. So that was my conservation board action. They discard that. This all slides down. We flip another one over. So I could start building up those and bringing those down. That's not really giving me my purple. To get a purple, I do need 2 blues, so that would give me the possibility of training there. In fact, let's do that. Let's go ahead and grab these 2, which gives me a blue and an orange. They discard the zebra. Flip over these cards. Oh, that's a lot of nice stuff. I can't pass that up. We're going to take these. That's going to give me my couple of purple and another orange, which is going to set me up to hopefully put out some animals here in the near future. They discard that one. That slides over. So on my turn, I'm going to do the training. So for the training, I can turn this into a green. So the green's got to go there. Looking out, what am I going to possibly want to do? So I'm going to have this stuff to be, although they're going to get rid of that one. So let's kind of look down here. That needs a couple of green. I'm just trying to decide if I want to do another green or keep the couple of purple. See, purple's a little easier to get. So why don't we still turn this into another green to make sure we have it. So that was my training. They discard the lion. These slide down. So we are going to do the conservation board action. We are going to slide over 1 of these green. That fulfills them. So we are going to release them. They come down here. Their instant power is to get rid of both of those survival markers. They discard them. These slide down. So I need to look at something that I can satisfy. I can do this wolf. That's 4. That would give me an extra spot on my board. I like that. We're going to house them. Little squirrel guy goes bye-bye. These slide down. Fill in these back 2. Our deck is running low. All right, so let's go ahead and conservation board again. We put our green, we put our purple, we put our 2 blue, and we put 1 orange. So this satisfies all that. So we are going to release them to the wild now. Doop, 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 doop. They come down here. What their power is they give me an extra spot next to my board. So we put out this little thing here. So I am now playing with 6 spots. All right, they discard this one. These all slide down. And 1 more card. So looking, we have 5 more cards. So we're getting pretty close to the end. Trying to see if there's a way that I can get out 1 more animal. It's going to be close, but I think let's go ahead and grab these 2. Totals up 9, but if I release them, that gives me 1 of those, but that's the payment it needs for that. It would give me enough orange. I just need a purple and a green. They discard that one. 1, 2, 3. 2 cards left, so I need a purple and a green. So let's go ahead and grab this one. They discard this. These slide over. These come up. So this revealed the last card. So I get 1 more turn to go now. I'm going to do my conservation board. I am going to release these 2 to the wild. So I get an orange, I get 2 blue, and a survival. I get a blue, a purple, a green, and a survival. These go there. I put 1, 2, 3. There's that. There's the green. These are down here. And I'm going to be getting -6 points because these are not going to be assigned to an animal. But we have our 3, we have our 1, we have our 1, and this is going to pay for that last bit right there. This one comes down there. So that was my last turn. So now we are going to count up points. Points come from 3 different areas. It's going to come up from the points listed up here. It's going to be our specialty and our points down here. And then in a solo game, you're going to see what the mission was. In this instance, it's going to be negative points. It is going to be -2 points per caretaker who is an assigned to an animal. So we'll total these up first. We have 10, 16, 24, 28, 31, 32, 34. Because of this, we're at 35, 36, -6 is 30. Our target score was 27. So we accomplished that by 3 points, even though I tried to get us at the end with all of those blue. All right, so that is how you play Exist or Coexist. This is very comparable to the regular or the multiplayer one. The only difference is you do not have that 1 card gain discard and this sliding over. Otherwise, none of my actions were affected by the solo rules. It is all just kind of playing the same way. But though, again, those wouldn't be negative points. All right, so hope you enjoyed that. If you could please go ahead and head down below and hit like, subscribe, comment, share, ring the bell. Let me know if this game interests you, maybe even if you knew about it before or if this piqued your interest. In addition to all of that, you can go ahead and check out Miniature Market to go ahead and purchase some board games. That would be nifty of you, especially if you use our link down below. Because if you use our link down below, we get credit and a portion of those sales to help fund us here on this channel, getting games like Coexist to show to you. Or if you want to help us but get energy, then you can go ahead and check out w.gg and use code MEEPLES in order to get a discount, give us credit for the sale, etc., etc. All right, so let's see which animals will coexist with each other.